Well, there we go. We are still here at the 59th edition of the Zambia International Trade Fair in Ndola. And well, you and I definitely are having a blast as far as this fair is concerned. And well, to all those who are on their way, you're on a bus or you are coming through to just enjoy whatever that is happening at the fair. There's quite a number of institutions and companies that have exhibited at this year's trade fair. Now, one of these institutions happens to be the Bank of Zambia. Now, a brief history of the Bank of Zambia. This is a bank that stands in Zambia as a central bank of Zambia, and it was established in 1964, obviously wholly owned by the government. Now, if we were to hear the word Bank of Zambia, do you understand a lot? Well, you and I need to understand that whatever happens at the Bank of Zambia, there's always somebody who's there to explain something to us that we don't understand. Now, in studio this afternoon, I'm definitely joined by Mr. Felipe Masengo, who's a senior economist, statistics. There's just a tongue twisting to that title, economist, statistic. How are you, sir? Good afternoon and welcome to Sun FM.
Good afternoon and thank you for having us here. We are very happy to share the information that the public needs about what happens at the Bank of Zambia.
Awesome. Now, Mr. Felipe, I want to get this from you first. A lot of people, they hear bank, they want to go and withdraw. They want to go and get an ATM. They want to go and do whatever that they want to go and do there. Let's get to find out first, what exactly is the mission of the Bank of Zambia and the mandate of the Bank of Zambia?
All right, so the mission of the Bank of Zambia is to achieve and maintain price and financial system stability so as to foster sustainable and inclusive economic development. But from what you said about the word bank, indeed we are a bank, just like any other bank, we're a bank. But we are not a bank to the public. We are a bank to the government and also to commercial banks. So we're not a bank to the public. So commercial banks indeed do banking services with us, as well as the government of the Republic of Zambia.
Awesome. Now, Mr. Felipe, in other words, there is the Central Bank of Zambia. And well, kindly just elaborate a little bit more. Somebody out there who's listening to us says Central Bank of Zambia, and then in what you're saying right now, we're the bank to the government. Just kindly explain a little bit on that one.
All right. So there are many functions that the bank carries out. But we can't manage to discuss all of that in the short time that we have. So one of them, which I'll delve into very soon, is the fiscal agency role. And that means that we assist government to raise money. Government can have a gap in terms of spending and revenue. So in those gaps, we can issue securities, treasury bills and bonds to raise funds. And then these funds will be used for the development projects that the government has. They're building hospitals, they're building roads, they have some payments to make. And then at maturity, they will be able to give these funds with interest to those who invested. So when you look at the government securities area, you as an investor, you are investing money so that you can get a return. For the government, they are borrowing for development. And the third reason now why this market is important is we build a reference for rates. It's like a yield curve. So if you and me are lending each other money and we agree to do it for a year, how do we arrive at the interest rate? We have to look at the rate that's prevailing on the market. And you find that this sector builds a yield curve. So we have rates starting from treasury bills which are less than 1 year. We have the 90, 182, 273 and 364, and then the bonds move from 2 years up to 15 years. So we give the market a reference where they can refer to know the price, the cost of money for all these various tenures.
Awesome. Let's get to the economic aspect of it all. You say we get to monitor prices, and obviously this is a bank to the commercial banks. I want to find out from you, how has the Bank of Zambia interpreted this year's theme, owing to the fact that there's resilience in the theme, there is trade in the theme, there is business as well, innovation not to forget. How has the Bank of Zambia interpreted this year's theme?
Okay, so to select a few of our functions and some recent initiatives that we've implemented which answer or marry well with the theme. To start with, first of all, our primary purpose of price and financial system stability. Our financial markets department works in collaboration with the economics department. The economics department, which is now called research, they work mainly to formulate policy, monetary policy. And then the financial markets will implement it. In doing all this, they are trying to keep prices low and stable. That's inflation and the exchange rate. These two are key for any business to be resilient. So it's very important that we achieve this. When we do, then businesses can plan, they can save, they can invest. The future becomes predictable. So it's very important. And then on top of that, we need financial system stability. You want something that is stable, where you can operate in there and you know that everything is going to occur based on what you are projecting. The issue of financial conduct. You want to be sure that no one will infringe on your rights. If you invest money, you will get back what you need. That's why we have supervision, we have regulation. So all these functions assist business to be resilient. If you want to save money, you want to be sure that what you've projected is what you're going to get. You want to make sure that nobody is going to steal the money from you. There shouldn't be misconduct in the market. So as we do all these functions, we are building resilience for business. And in terms of innovation, we have some innovations, like, for instance, the export process tracking framework, where we've started tracking all transactions between Zambians and the rest of the world. In doing this, if there's a shock to the economy, we will know which sector is being affected by looking at the data and how it is moving. So statistics becomes very important, and our decisions and response policies and all these, they respond to data, making our interventions very accurate. And then we have the payment systems platform, which you talked about. When we say banker to commercial banks, it means we link them. If Bank A is trading with Bank B, their banks will be at Bank of Zambia and will do the clearing for them. That's a payment system. So we're making business able to move, flow of funds to move. And in that same space, we are working on introducing the 24-hour economy. That's the ultimate goal. But so far, we've done an extension to the operating hours on the RTGS platform, so that business can begin to occur before. So now we are moving from about 7 up to about 19:30, where before it was just the normal 8 to 17. And you find that when you introduce this, you look at the data. Do you have more funds being cleared? Do you have business being able to do transactions longer period of time? Do you have trade being facilitated faster and more efficiently? We also have tracking in terms of the many methods of payments. So for instance, way back before 2010, the biggest mode of payment was the check. Almost more than 60-70% of all the transactions in Zambia were cleared through the checks.
Check, yes.
But with time, innovation has come through. And people have been moving. There's point of sale which has come through. There are ATMs that have come. So all these, we monitor how they're moving, and then we invest in this to make them more durable, more reliable, more efficient.
User-friendly.
Yeah. And then we also bring in issues to do with what we call collaborative regulation. Because, like, for instance, if you look at mobile money payments, we have Zitf on the other side that does it, communications regulations. We do the money side, so we have to collaborate. We have institutions that cut across financial markets, like insurance companies. You find PIA, SEC. All these regulators, we work together to ensure that the entire ecosystem of the financial markets is in top shape and is most efficient. Any technology that we find has come on board, we try and incorporate it, but in a calculated way, so that it benefits the Zambian businesses. And this brings about business resilience.
Awesome. Now let's go to the one of the diving deep that you mentioned, that is a fiscal agency. The Bank of Zambia is known as that. Kindly just dive a little bit deeper onto what exactly fiscal agency is the Bank of Zambia.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, when government wants to borrow money for their spending and revenue mismatch, we issue these securities on their behalf. So again, to bring in the issue of the theme for this year's trade fair, we have innovated. So you find that way back, the government securities auctions were very manual. We had forms, we had boxes, and it was very cumbersome. And people in the far-flung areas of Zambia, it was very difficult for them to access this market, to invest with the government. But today, we have now brought about the investor portal. So anyone can invest completely from their phone or their computer without any paperwork involved. So we've innovated to an extent where it becomes very easy. As long as you have a phone that is a smartphone, you can manage to download the app, you can get all this information and you can register on the CST and you can do your investments.
Awesome. Now, let's speak to those who are coming into the trade fair today, and obviously they want to know a number of things. We've noticed that you've set up a withdrawing point just at your stand, and well, I walked into your stand. There is